November 17th, St. Hugh of Lincoln. Today we honor St. Hugh of Lincoln, a saintly bishop known for his holiness, devotion to God, and remarkable courage in defending the Church. Our story begins in 1135 in Avalon near Grenoble, France. Born into a noble family, St. Hugh sought a life of holiness from a young age. After his mother's death, he entered the Benedictine monastery of Villard-Benoit, where his father also became a monk. When he was 25, Hugh was drawn to a life of deeper solitude and joined the Carthusians at La Grande Chartreuse, an austere order dedicated to silence, fasting, and prayer. His virtues soon set him apart, and he was appointed procurator of the monastery, overseeing its needs while remaining deeply committed to the Carthusian ideals. In the year 1175, King Henry II of England requested a Carthusian to reform the newly established priory of Whittam in Somerset. Although Hugh preferred the monastic life, he accepted this call to England, believing it to be God's will. Under his guidance, Whittam Priory became a true house of prayer, and His Holiness began to draw attention across the land. In 1186, Hugh was appointed Bishop of Lincoln. He resisted, feeling unworthy, but eventually accepted, moved by his desire to serve God's people. As bishop, Hugh worked tirelessly to reform both the clergy and the laity, emphasizing prayer, discipline, and charity. He preached with great zeal and gave generously to those in need. St. Hugh was renowned for his fearless defense of the Church's rights, never allowing anyone to infringe upon her independence. Even King Richard the Lionheart once met with Hugh's stern rebuke when he imposed unlawful taxes. The king was so impressed by Hugh's courage that he eventually yielded. It was said that few dared to speak so openly to the king as Hugh did. One unique and famous aspect of Hugh's life was the special relationship with a swan, known as St. Hugh's swan. When Hugh moved into his residence as bishop, this swan was said to have developed a special attachment to him, approaching him alone and often keeping vigil by his side as he prayed. This unusual companionship became a symbol of St. Hugh's gentleness and purity. St. Hugh lived his final days with humility and devotion. He passed away on November 16th in the year 1200. His funeral drew nobility and clergy from across England, including King John himself. His sanctity was so evident that he was canonized only 20 years later in the year 1220. His feast day is celebrated on November 17th. In St. Hugh, we see the virtues of courage, charity, and a steadfast faith. He was a shepherd who loved his flock and served God with a pure heart. May we follow his example, and may St. Hugh of Lincoln intercede for us.